everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's going to be a fun day. We're going to talk all about some cool features of the app and some things you might have been missing, some new updates that we have. And yeah, as you can probably tell from my voice, I am currently sick, and I have a baby that's sick too, crawling around me right now. So I'm probably going to be, yep, here we go. He wanted to come say hi. So say hi. This is Ryan. He
Hey,
wanted
Ryan.
to, he wanted to see who I was talking to. But luckily, Dale is joining today, and we're going to go over all sorts of features of the app.
Yeah, we're happy to be here today. I was sick all weekend. I'm kind of up on the upswing now, so it's kind of going through the house here. Got 2 kids down currently. But anyway, we're going to be talking about the app today, and we have a brand new feature we're going to show for the very first time. You may see it on the screen already. At the very top of the screen, we've got this new search bar. I'm going to talk all about that today. It's going to be coming out in an update today. We're going to talk about some features we've released over the past month or so. Share some existing things that have been in the app, some things that a lot of people don't realize are there, and also, take your questions about the app, and also if you have any feature suggestions or anything like that, we would love to hear them. This search bar at the top actually came from an email that we got a couple weeks ago. We've got a couple of requests from this that have come in, and so that's where this search bar came from. So a lot of the features that we work on come directly from the feedback that we get from these live streams, from from emails that come in, from comments, from all of that. So yeah, we're excited today. It's cooler here in Oklahoma right now. I see a lot of weather reports coming in, and I'm very sorry. We had those really high temps a few weeks ago, and it's been really great here in Oklahoma recently. Not to brag. Sorry, I sound like I'm rubbing it in, but it's been like 80s,
We'll be right back there here in a few days. Hey,
which is
as
unheard of.
we have a
Yeah,
heat wave predicted.
I
That's what
know.
the
Our
app says.
app kind of broke my heart a little bit when I opened it and saw that. I was like, no, but it's good to know. It's good to know because there's things that we need to start doing in our garden to get ready for that now. So let's jump in and let's start
I
talking.
do want to mention too that we are giving away a free premium 1-year subscription for the From Seed to Spoon app. So make sure you guys are staying until the end and commenting. And each time you comment, you'll be entered in to win as well.
I've already got some feedback coming in about the search bar. Y'all haven't even seen it yet. Let me show you what it does. And we're still working on tweaking it. Like I think there's going to be some more things we do with it. What you see today is what we are submitting to Apple and to Google today. So it'll start to roll out. So let's go in here and search for tomato first. And what you'll see is it's going to pull up all of the plants in your garden that are tomatoes. That's the first thing it's going to show. And then the second thing it's going to show in the list are plant results. So these are the plants in our database that we have. So you could tap on that to go into it. And the search bars, let me come back to it. That might be a change we need to make. What do y'all think? Whenever the search bar opens and you go into something and you come back, so I go into I'm into one of my tomatoes here and I come back. Do you think you should go back into the search bar like already open, or should you have to search again? Let us know what you think in the comments there. So anyway, it'll show you the plants in your garden. It's going to show you pests. So the tomato hornworm is going to pop up. It's going to pop up product results. So these are seeds that we carry in our store from Park Seed. So yeah, this is what search is going to do right now. We talked actually this morning about adding in to where it's going to search grobot history too. So I think that's going to be something else that we add in here pretty soon as well. So yeah, that is search. We're really excited about it. We think it's going to really help with getting to your plants quicker and easier, and also just kind of seeing everything we have. We're going to add more things into search eventually, things like our YouTube videos, things of that nature, and any suggestions that y'all have. So if you have any suggestions on other things you'd like to see in search, any of your, like maybe your notes might be an example of something. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, is back to that search bar. But let's see. Wait, so Just to clarify, are y'all saying like the search results showing? I think that's what they're. You think that's what they're saying, Carrie? Like already there? Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And then we'll just make it easy. So like it'll be here, and then there's already this X right here. So when you come back into it, you can just click that X, and then it'll take you back to here. So I think that'll. This is a nice way to build something. I really appreciate y'all giving us feedback in real time because sometimes we try and guess what to build and what to do. Um, but we love getting your feedback and making adjustments off of that. So let me move this over here. So I'm looking at the screen. I'm not like looking over this side screen. Okay. So that's the search bar. Again, that's coming out today, hopefully, assuming we get approval by Apple. Usually it takes a couple hours for them to approve, and then it'll start rolling out. So check for updates later tonight, and you should have that. Let's talk about some of these other new features that we've put out recently. So hopefully you have seen these new features we have for identify plant and plant help and identify bug. And I got to tell y'all, this has been a dream for us since we first started dreaming about building this app. Man, how long has it been now? 2017 is when we started making it. So 7 years ago. Wow. So this was one of the initial dreams. I remember Justin and I were at a Microsoft conference at that time. Justin's our lead developer, if y'all don't know who Justin is. And he is the person that I started building the app with. So we were at a Microsoft conference and we were learning all about the advancements in AI. I know that AI has been in the news lately and it seems like it came out of nowhere, but this stuff has been building for a while. And I remember the first version that Justin and I saw back then at that Microsoft conference, and we were dreaming about like how cool it would be to have a feature where you could take a picture of a bug and identify what it was. And at the time, the challenge was we were going to have to get like 100 pictures of every single bug in order to train this AI model. And it was just like that was like kind of the holdup back then. But we knew what the dream was, and we're so excited that now you can do that. So if you click on this identify bug, and then you do from photos. Did you give me a bug picture of my samples? Uh-oh.
At the very top left.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see. Okay, cool. I've got to use this like simulator on my computer in development, so that's why you see like it's we had to like airdrop some photos over. So here it is, and it shows you that it's aphids. And more importantly, I think one of the things that we've done is we've trained it to give good answers on how to handle whatever it is. So it's one thing just to say that's an aphid, but we try and give you really good answers. And this is trained on our data too. Um, we do a lot of like processing of the responses that we get back, and um, we're really excited about this because this was the dream of the app when we first started. This was like the first thing we wanted to make, aside from calculating planting dates. So, like the very first day of building the app, Justin brought me over to his computer because I was learning how to code, like to build this app. And we started building it, and we basically had something that was a list of plants, kind of like this. You click on one, and it started to calculate planting dates. Now, back then, it wasn't near as advanced as it is now because now we're using like your nearest weather station to calculate and all of that stuff. And that's why we brought Justin in, because Justin is the wizard and he knows how to make the really hard stuff. And that was one of the first things he made on the project was calculating planting dates based on your nearest weather station. So another feature of the app, which is probably the most valuable in my mind for us. I think at this point we've pretty much got a lot of these dates memorized, but those first couple years especially, it was so hard trying to keep track of, okay, what can I plant when and all of that kind of stuff. And that's where this calendar feature comes in. I'm jumping around, but that's how we kind of roll on these things. So this calendar feature here shows you, like what all can be planted during different times and all that kind of stuff too. So, all right, let's jump back over to the dashboard and show you some of these other features because I talked about the identify bug, but it also does things with helping identify plants too, or to get plant help. So if I click on this plant help and I come in here, I'm gonna click on this tomato here and see what's going on with this tomato. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know what the answer is already. It's a pretty common tomato problem. But when you're a beginner, it's hard to know. And right there, blossom end rot, it's exactly what it is. And it tells you some instructions on how to handle it. Watering is generally going to be the first thing that we go to when we see blossom and rot. It's either been raining too much, we've been watering too much, or something like that. Um, a new feature that we just added that rolled out last week is now you can take these responses that you get back from grobot and you can save them to a plant. So if I click on this right here, it's going to let me create a garden note or create a garden plant note. If I click on this create garden plant note, we need to add a search bar in here so it's easier to find a plant, because I want to just come up here and type tomato. So we need to add that in. But I'm going to scroll down, and here's our Roma tomato. That's what it was happening on. And it lets me go in and add this now as a note on that plant. So if I go into search for Roma, use our fancy new search bar we've got, and filter down to garden plants, and we've got right here, and I go into notes. Did I do the wrong Roma? We've got a lot of plants in our garden.
We do, yeah. And I think we have several Roma tomatoes also.
Yeah, I should have chose one that was a little more clear. Oh, this simulator can be a little finicky, so when you see me kind of clicking around here.
Bush. Did you put it
Oh,
on Roma? It would be under the bush tomatoes.
yeah, it's that one right there, because there's the picture. So you can see we come in here, and then now here's the note that we saved. There's the picture that we uploaded. And now we can come back in here and see the note that we saved. So we think this is a really super useful feature, because before you would have had to go into grobot and then go into the history. Now there is a history section, which is cool. You can come in here and you can see what all stuff you've asked. And you can also search this history. So I could search this for tomato, and I could see the different results that I have. But being able to actually save that back to the plant, I think is really nice for record keeping, and will really help you stay organized and stuff. So, I see comments popping up, but I can't see what they are because I've got this big phone in front of that screen. So, Carrie, let me know if I need to address a comment or question or something.
Yeah, I'll let you know if there's a question that I pop up.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard and let's talk about some other features that we've got coming. Now, we've kind of talked about this one a little bit. You can see this new button up here, this heat wave predicted. This is going to help save you in the summer, and it'll also give you a similar alert for the winter if there's going to be a freeze coming. It'll also give you an alert. So you can come in here and it'll show you the weather section that shows you the current conditions, and also some stats for the week. If you guys have, ideas for how we can improve weather and how to make it to where you would actually use it for weather for gardening information, let us know. Some of the things we thought about are things like, if you go to the week view, we have how much time it's been above 90 degrees and like what percentage of the week that's been. That's important for me, knowing how stressed my tomatoes are going to be. Because the amount of time they've been above that kind of gives me an indicator. Also, time below 50, like on the other side, that kind of tells me how stressed some of the other plants are going to be on the cold side. So if you guys have ideas on how we could improve weather, one of the things that we're going to be coming out with here soon is going to be notifications based on things like these heat events or the cold events, obviously once we get back into the cold weather. But that's something that a lot of people don't realize we have too, is that it's going to save you on telling you when the weather's coming and all of that. So let's scroll down this dashboard
So
a
we
little
do
bit.
have questions about how about chill hours for the.
Yeah, I think especially for like tree growing and fruit bushes and stuff, I think that's important. So I think that's something we should add in on that week view, and maybe a month view. I don't know. Like, let us know kind of what you're thinking on that.
So accumulated hours below like 45 degrees was
So we
his
kind of have that. We have time below 50. So maybe we need to adjust that 50 to be 45, or maybe make it to where you can like click on this to change what it is. Maybe that's the key. I
so
think that
they can adjust it however their plants need it. I like that.
yeah.
I like this. Bonnie wants to know that if the app can turn off the heat wave and make it not get hot.
AI cannot do that yet. Not sure. I'm excited for the possibility of AI being able to do that one day. but in Terminator land at that point. But I did watch the Terminator movies a lot as a kid, so I feel like I've got a pretty good strategy on. It's just hard to know if Arnold's the good guy or the bad guy, depending on the movie. So 80s kids. Carrie and I are both born in the 80s. That was kind of our nostalgia that we've got going there. Okay, so on the dashboard, and this dashboard is actually something new that we added. When did we add this? It was the end of last year that we added this in. So if you haven't been in the app in a bit, this may be new to you. Hopefully you've seen it though, but it's basically just a collection of all the most important things that the app put right there. And then from there, you can go out to see more details. So you can see your gardens and your plants that you have. It's going to show you like your main, like the last garden you worked in here. You can click on a plant to go into it from there and come back to your dashboard. You can see some of other gardens. This Let's Grow section, I think, is super useful because it shows you things that you can grow right now. So I can go through here and see, okay, here's everything I can start right now. And then in the spring, this plant soon we use a lot. So we're looking at this a lot in January and February, seeing what all we're going to be able to plant soon. It's just another window into letting you see what you can plant now. Because again, that was like when we started building this app 7 years ago, that was the main reason we started, because I had all these spreadsheets and books we were carrying around and all this stuff. And we wanted one app to make it easy to keep track of all this. So that's where our app came from. And that's still the reason why we work on it today, is to make it easy for everyone to grow food. If you haven't checked out kind of our story on how we started growing food and all of that, that's actually, let me show where you can find more on that. This Who Are We section right here. There we are. That's when, man, look how young we look back then. Look how young I looked back then. So this was our garden when we started, back when we first started growing food back in 2015. And then a couple years later, Carrie and I both have pretty obsessive personalities. And that's kind of reflected in our garden here. So you can read more about kind of how we got into gardening right there on that Read Our Story. But that's where this app came from, was we wanted to make it easy for other people to kind of do what we had done with our yard, because it really helped us out a lot. We started growing food really for health reasons. It really helps my mental health when I'm out in the garden and I'm eating things that are coming from the garden. We both just feel better in general. It's really hard to put into words how different we feel when we're out in the garden and doing all that kind of stuff. So this planting calendar feature here. Oh, I see a question. Is that?
Yeah, I was popping up a question. So when it says plant now, is that for transplants or direct sow?
That's going to be for both. So that's going to cover both if it's direct sow or if it's time to transplant on those.
Yeah, and it says on it exactly like plant outside or plant inside also. So you'll see like different tags on it. So it'll be clear for you.
Yeah. So this calendar here, again, I showed this on the other view from the plant list, but this is another view into that same calendar view here. You can see. You're here, so you know about our live workshops, but you can see other ones in here. You can also see past ones. We do these every Tuesday generally. Last week I was at a gardening conference out in Ohio. That's why I got us sick. I picked it up out there and brought us all back. But that was a fun video. I went through and showed some of our favorite things from that conference. We do these every week, all these different things we talk about. This Grow for Health feature, this was Carrie's idea, and a feature that she worked hard on. And it lets you go through and see. I'm trying to scroll, but again, this simulator can be finicky. Okay, so it lets you see plants based on their health conditions, but what kind of, how they help you, basically. So if I go to mental health, then this will show me the plants that I can grow to help with mental health things. Hence, there's gonna be a lot of things with magnesium and calcium generally. Now, there's another way you can get to here. So if I click on this X, this filters button right here, lets you see this. So this is another way. And this filters button in general is probably something I should show. So let me show you again how I get there. So from the plants list, it's a filters button right here, and you can filter all different ways. And you can combine these filters. So like tolerate shade and perennial. And there we go. So, all right, let's jump back to our dashboard here. This is another new feature that we just released. Been a few months now, I guess, but these garden themes let you see different, get you different ideas for maybe themes you could put together for a garden. So, like a cocktail garden, for example, is going to have different plants from our store that you could grow for cocktails, and then you could. It just really gives you some inspiration because sometimes you get stuck in a rut. You're not really sure what to grow or why to grow it, and this helps you out there. The articles section again. This simulator is so finicky. Okay, there we go. Article section shows you some of the hand-picked things we think are great for beginners in this getting started section here, and this lets you see. If you go to recent, it lets you see all of our most recent posts we put out. So Carrie spends a lot of time creating content, like pickled peppers. Like this is a blog post we put out this week that shows how we go through and pickle our peppers, which is another thing. Let me show in the app something people don't realize we have a lot of time are recipes. So if I go into squash, I am loving the search bar so much. Like I can't believe it took us so long to add this because this really makes things fast. So if I'm going into squash here, there's this recipes button right here. And again, back to the obsessive personality thing. When we first started growing food, squash is one of the first things that we got like a ton of, like that we got so much that we didn't really know what to do with it. And we were doing this challenge at the time where we were trying to live off of only stuff that came from our garden, and then also like eggs and stuff like that, basically. But we were trying to eat as much as we could from the garden, and it was really exciting and fun for like the first week. And then we were so tired of the taste of squash because we were cooking it the exact same way every day. And that's kind of where this came from. Was Carrie started trying every recipe that she could find for how to make squash. So we've got all these different recipes in here. These brownies are so good. Man, we haven't eaten yet. I'm gonna get so hungry going through our recipes. We're gonna have to get out of recipes here because I'm gonna get too hungry. Um, but yeah, recipes are something that we have in the app. We're always adding new stuff. Like I just showed, we added the pickled peppers yesterday. Which, if you haven't tried pickled peppers yet, man, that's hard to say, isn't it? Pickled peppers. If you haven't tried that yet, you've got to try it. They are so good. I really slept on how good pickled peppers are for a number of years. Really, like the past couple of years, I started eating them. I think they came on my sandwich, like, or a wrap that I got like accidentally, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll try it." And then I loved it. And I'm kind of like Carrie. I mean, Carrie like hates pickles, and I generally don't like pickled things, but pickled peppers are so good. So definitely check that out.
Okay,
Is there
so I popped up a comment and I love this idea. So is there a way to submit recipes?
I love this idea too.
Yeah, I
We've
love
talked about how we can do community type features with the app for a while now, and I think this could be a really good candidate for where we could start. Is have a place to share recipes and stuff and submit them.
it. Yeah.
But let's start with, can you share them with us, and then we'll we'll try them and
I
make
can give
content.
you credit. I'll give you credit for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
saving
Flavor
recipes.
recipes? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that idea. Another possibility with AI too is we could make it to where you could take a picture of, and you could do that with grobot now. You could take a picture of your harvest with grobot, um, and then ask, what can I make with this, and get different recipe ideas. We've done stuff like that. Like I love experimenting with AI, and that's one of the things I've experimented a lot with, is taking pictures of things and saying, what could I make with this, or what can I do with this, or help me fix my mower. I use AI for all sorts of things. Cool. I love that idea. Okay.
Yeah, I was
Did we
gonna
get?
say, send us your recipes and I'll get them in the app. Here's our our email.
Hey, we do
As
have a
well.
Facebook group too. Like I think because that's a great place. Like let's start there. Like join our Facebook group and let's post recipes in there and share them with each other. And then we got to code a bunch of stuff to make it to where we can share it in the app. But let's not wait till we've coded it to start doing this, y'all. Join us in our Facebook group. Let's share some recipes with each other. I promise you, Carrie will try all of them. We both will. We love trying new recipes and stuff. Like one of our like early date nights when we were first dating was just making like we made chocolate chip cookies like every way you could make it. We found a blog post that like covered like all the different ingredients, the chocolate chip cookie and how it affects it. And we made so many cookies that weekend of just like
It was
experience.
fun. Yeah, it was like at least 10 different recipes that we went through. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super fun.
We are nerds, y'all. Like one of our early dates was we bought like one of every apple at the grocery store
I
and then
remember
tried
that.
them all and then rated them all 1 through 5 on our favorites for different. We were such nerds. Like this is what we do. Um, I'm happy we found each other.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered everything on the dashboard. Let's jump in and start showing some of these other features too. So if I go into the plant list here, this is a collection of all the plants that we have created for the app, meaning we've gone in, we've done the research, we've entered all the data for. Um, I mean, this list is constantly growing. Carrie's always adding stuff in here. When someone emails in asking for something, generally I got to probably Carrie off the computer because she's going to be obsessively adding that new plant. But if there's one in here, if there's something you want to grow or keep track of that is not in this list, that's where this add custom plant comes in. So in here, you can come in here and you can add your own plant. Now, this is a lot of fields to fill out. Um, and that's why we've been working on a new feature that lets you take a picture of a seed packet and automatically fill all this out. So that is coming next. We are very close to being able to roll it out to our beta testers, which I think a lot of you that I see in the chat are a lot of our beta testers already. If this is something that you would like to help us test, let us know. Just email Carrie. Can you pop the email address up? Just email us and we'll get you added. Now, you do need to be a premium subscriber because a lot of these features are going to be tied to that. So if you're a premium subscriber and you want to help us test some of these new features that we're working on, email us there and we would love to have you. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from everybody that's helped us. Really enjoy working with our beta customers. A lot of them are very passionate about growing and passionate about using the app. And is Wendy in here? Wendy's probably in here, right? Well, Wendy's one of our beta testers that gives us like just so much great feedback, just like a whole page worth of stuff, and it's so awesome. We really
Yeah,
appreciate.
I see several of them in here. I see
Yeah,
several familiar names. Yep, there we go.
Harry. Yep, there. Y'all are awesome. Appreciate y'all. Okay, so let's click on a plant now. So we're gonna click on cucumbers. And this is where a lot of the growing information for the app is. So you can jump to specific sections up here. If you want to jump to something like varieties or care details or planting dates, companions, you can click around. Let's go through some of these. So planting dates, these are dates that are calculated based on your nearest weather station. So there's weather stations scattered all across the U.S. and all of them have data on temperatures and all sorts of stuff, and that's what we use to calculate planting dates. So I saw a request earlier for fall seed starting dates, and that is something that we've talked about adding in. We started working on it. We're it's up on blocks, if you will. We're working on it, but yeah, I don't think we have a lot more to share there yet. But it is something that we're looking at doing. Care details. This shows you like all the growing information for how to grow that. All the different stuff about seed sprouting, all the stuff we had to look up in books before is all here basically. We're big fans of these fabric raised beds. We've used them in our garden for a very long time now. We've got some that are as old as our garden basically, and they're still doing awesome. So we have recommendations for the right size for a plant for these smart pots. We also have all of the these are the recommended varieties we have. So Parks we Park Seed bought our app 2 or 3 years ago now, 3 years ago, and now we work with Park Seed. So it's pretty awesome that we get to carry seeds from one of the oldest seed companies in the country. They've been around for 150 years or something like that. based out of South Carolina. Just a lot of awesome people out there. So it's really cool because when we were doing this on our own, we were literally like we were shipping stuff out of our garage. Remember that, Carrie? We were like, yeah. And that's not the part of this job that we enjoyed as much. We really like making apps and solving problems with software. Like we have a lot of fun doing that. So Parkseed is awesome at carrying all the seeds and getting it shipped to you quickly. I mean, you get it in just a couple days.
Yeah,
They're
it's
really
great. They ship like all of their packages within a day or two. It's awesome.
they care. I mean, a lot of the like varieties that are well known, like Parks Whopper. It's called Parks Whopper because it came from Park Seed. They helped develop that variety, and it's just a lot of reasons why we love being with Park Seed.
And they carry smart pots too.
Yep. And one of the cool things is for our yearly subscribers, you get free shipping on all of your purchases. So, kind of a huge gardening hack there is that you can get free shipping. And also, every Wednesday, we have like a really good deal. So, it's called a Wow Wednesday deal. And it's usually like it's been Espoma fertilizers in the past, or strawberries, or grow kits, like seed starting kits. Biodomes are sometimes like the best deal of the year in there too. Um, so anyway, yeah. But you can see all the varieties that are our favorites, and then you could click on here to go in and see all the varieties they carry. And you can filter in here too by like the award winners and heirloom stuff like that. They have a ton of organic and heirloom seeds too, if you're into that. You can see the pests that attack each plant. So for cucumbers, these are going to be your main pests, and you can tap on them here, and then you can see different treatment recommendations. Again, this data all comes from us. This is stuff that we typed ourselves. If you want to get some extra help, though, something that we've added is you can click on here and ask grobot about cucumbers. So now, if you're going to ask about like now you don't have to say like, hey, I'm talking about cucumbers. Like it already knows that you're talking about cucumbers. We're also looking at giving you the ability to do things like if you're in one of your garden plants, to attach your data with it so that it'll know like when you planted it and what the weather's been around you lately and stuff like that. That's something else we're working on now, just to make it to where your conversations with grobot are a little more, I mean, they're already going to be super helpful, but I think being able to include some of your data is going to be really good there. You can see companions here. So these are the things that grow well next to cucumbers. These are the things that do not. Again, the health benefits that we showed earlier is another way to see that. This mint water is really good, by the way. Oh man, I want that mint water. This cucumber. So you basically freeze the cucumbers and use them as like ice cubes. Harvesting information, cooking, eating, recipes, all that. Like I said, everything you need to know about cucumbers is right here. And then we also did pick some of our like favorite products that are related to cucumbers. So like a cucumber trellis, things like that. All right, so that's plant details. All right, I know I had a list that Carrie made for me of stuff I was supposed to talk about. Let me make sure I covered all of that.
Well,
Oh,
you haven't gone about showing like the plants in the garden, like how to add a plant to your garden
yeah.
or a custom plant, like if it's a plant that we don't have in our database.
Yep. So let's jump in and start showing my garden. So when we first made the app, like everything I showed you so far was like the first couple years. That's all it was. My garden is something we added, 2 or 3 years in, and the idea behind it was giving you the ability to track everything that's in your garden. So you can see here, this is a snapshot of what we got going in our garden right now. And if I click on something, I can come in here and see the information we've kept on it, when we planted it, how it was started. It'll give you estimated seed sprouting dates. We didn't mark that as sprouted, but you can come in here, mark it as sprouted, do all that kind of stuff. It'll give you projected first harvest dates. Again, notes, all that kind of stuff. So basically the idea was to replace having to keep a notebook or a journal for your garden. And this basically became your garden journal and garden notebook. So that's what my garden does. And it lets you go through and you can click on here and you can add a plant. These are our most recently planted things. So those show at the top. So if you want to plant another round of them. So little too late for us to plant another loofah. What could we actually plant today? Basil. Basil's like the perfect thing to plant this time of year. So I come in here, choose how I really am gonna do this after this live stream. So I'm gonna choose basil, outdoor. We're gonna do an entire tray of the green stalk towers. We've got a blue one. I'm gonna do a whole tray of basil in that. And then for the variety, Carrie loves this cinnamon basil. So this is the official name of it. So we're going to choose that one. And now we've got that in our garden. So you can see how easy it is to go through and add a plant. You can also add a custom plant through here. So you can come in here and click on custom plant. What are we going to call this? A rose. I don't know if we have roses in our garden. Do we have roses in the app?
Not yet. No. It's on my list, though.
Okay, so we'll do rose. Now the cool thing is this is like, if you only want to do that, that's all you got to do. Like, you don't have to go through and enter any other information, but you're not going to have like those cool cards that show you like how long it's going to take to sprout and all that kind of stuff. You could also come in here and add a new photo. I don't have a photo of a rose, so we're going to pretend that this is a rose just because it's a picture. And now, I should have been able to change the picture of it there. We might have a bug where that's going on. Might have to save and close before it does it. Yeah, that should be changing the picture of it. So we'll look at that and see what's going on. But normally, whenever you take a picture, it lets you, oh, there it is. It just took a second for it to upload or something. Because now you can see next to rose up here is that picture of the Swiss chard that is not a rose. So that's custom plants. That's my garden. Again, if you guys have any ideas for ways we could improve my garden, let us know. Like I mentioned, one of the things we're looking at doing is making it to where, like, if you're inside of here and you do ask grobot about beans, to where you can attach the data that you have for the beans, so that grobot has a little more information when it's helping you out. Okay, let me go to my notes again.
I will mention too. Do you want to talk about the coming soon for the seed packet?
We talked about it a little bit earlier, but yeah, but let's
cover custom plant.
Yeah, so like what she's talking about is the feature that we are working on now that comes out. It's be coming out to beta here probably within the next week or so, hopefully, that lets you just take a picture of a seed packet and then it'll fill all this information out. So
yeah, and it can be from any place. It doesn't necessarily have to be Park Seed too, because there was a question about that too.
Yep. So it's going to work with any seed packet. We're also going to make sure it works with like a plant tag. So if you buy a transplant from a nursery or something like that, you can just take a picture of the plant tag as well. Inside of my garden, there's some other features in here too. So tasks, this gives you another view into kind of what you can plant soon, what you can plant outside now. It's very similar to this this here, except it just lets you filter it and do things like that, because this is like a big list of plants. You may not want to see all of that. You might want to come in here to tasks and see, okay, what can I plant outside now versus what can I start indoors now, because it combines both of them in there. Another cool thing about it is you can also change this date. And the reason why this is important is whenever, like, it's so I'm gonna go back and change the date to be March 1st. So when it's the middle of January and you're planting your garden, you can come in here and choose that date, and now it'll show you what all you can plant at that time. So there's also the notes feature that lets you save notes for your overall garden. Like I showed you notes for a plant a bit ago. If you just want to have notes for your actual garden itself, you can save them here. And then archive. So archive lets you take plants that are no longer growing and move them over, and still be able to see like all of your own notes and all that kind of stuff too. All right. gone through a lot. Let me look at my notes here and see. Something I have not shown yet is changing frost dates. So I've talked a lot about how we automatically calculate dates for you and all of that. If you ever want to come in though and adjust those dates, I did that a little fast. Let me do that again. So this menu button up here in the top left opens this up, and then there's a settings button down here. And then inside of here, you can actually go in and you can change your location. You can also change your planting dates. So right now I have it set to use frost dates calculated from the nearest weather station. Or I can come in here and set custom frost dates. And then this lets you change those dates, and that'll recalculate everything in the app there. So that's something else I wanted to show, because that's something that some people don't realize that we have as well. Okay. We show the shop button up here again. So this is the Park Seed store. This is everything we carry from Park Seed. So you can come in here and again, you get free shipping on everything if you are a yearly subscriber. So that's one of the big perks of being a yearly subscriber is you get free shipping. Okay, one other thing I want to show. I'm not going to show. I'm just going to talk about it. Is we have a web app as well. So, Carrie, do you mind popping the URL up on screen? So, if you want to use the app on your desktop, because sometimes it's easier to go through and enter a whole bunch of information, like using your keyboard and all that kind of stuff, you can use our web app at app.seedtospoon.net, and it'll have all the same features that we have in the app. Just it's going to look a little bit different, and you're going to have all of your keyboard and all that kind of stuff you can use too. Okay, I think I covered most of the main features. I mean, there's always going to be something I forget. I think I covered most everything. Again, we're really excited about these new things that we've released lately with identifying plants, pests. These are just 3 ways that you can use the new AI features. If you come into grobot though, you can use it. There's a lot of different ways. So let me do add photo. And do we have a picture of like a pepper plant? We don't. So you could upload a picture of a pepper plant that has peppers on it, like maybe an immature pepper, and say how long before this pepper is mature. You can upload a picture of a garden bed that has an opening in it and say, what should I plant here in this opening? Like what would go well with these plants? Like the possibilities are endless. And this is something that we would love to get your feedback on. If there's a certain way of using grobot that you found that you think is cool, share that with us so we can help highlight it for other people. We're in a really interesting time of evolving technology, and I think that to think that we're going to think of every way that this could be used is impossible. So we would love to hear the ways that you're using grobot, how it's helped you. Yeah. Okay. So do we have any questions we want to address right now, or any feature requests that we want to highlight? Or so Tiffany, we don't use zone per se because we're calculating based on your nearest weather station. So we feel like it's more accurate in that we're actually going off of dates of the past 100 years worth of data of freeze dates for that location, and then calculate based off of that. So it's not going off of zone, but we do feel like it's more accurate than zone in that way, because zone can cover a large area. Like we're in the same zone as Washington, D.C., and we're in Oklahoma. So zone 7 is pretty there's some nuances there. So that's why we calculate based on the nearest weather station. We got some more questions. So the photo upload features are only on premium because it does cost us money to use them. Every picture that we process costs us a certain amount of money. But for free users, we do give you 3 free grobot questions that do not involve photos. So you can just type a question to grobot and ask it something like, what should I plant in my shady porch area? I want color. if I can spell color. Okay. So you get 3 of those, I think per day, right, Carrie? Isn't it 3 per day? It resets every day. So that is for free users. So if you don't have premium, you do get access to asking grobot questions. You just can't send your picture up because again, that does cost us money, and we would go bankrupt if we did not charge for that. So we kind of have to on that one. And we have any other questions? Do we have a winner picked out yet? Are we still working on that?
I wanted to address this one right here
Okay.
because we actually, yeah, I'll let you go in case I have a
Yeah.
baby issue.
So this is a great question. If your membership expires or if you decide not to renew, you still have access to everything you entered into the app. I'm not going to hold your data hostage. That is one of the things we decided early on whenever we released the premium version of the app was we did not want to make it to where you lost access to anything if you decided not to pay anymore. It just makes it where you can't add new things in. So don't worry about that part. If you decide you don't want to renew, you still have access to everything you entered in while you had the app. We're not going to hold your data hostage. So. Any other
Okay.
questions? Here I'm looking over.
Yeah, there might be a few. There's something that I saw. Sorry,
I'm popping this one up because I agree with Jennifer. Like there's a lot of differing opinions on AI for sure, and I think it could be used for bad, but I think this is a way that you can use it for great, for good. Great. It's kind of how I feel about just like for being a software guy. I'm kind of anti-technology in a way, and that like if I have on the weekend, I'm not looking at a screen or a computer if I can help it. I'm outside in the garden. I'm fishing. I'm at the lake. I'm doing something in nature. And I love that our app helps bring people into nature. That's before we worked on this app, a lot of, some of the software that I worked on, didn't necessarily do that. And I love that our app brings people and connects them into nature. So, we got a question. Is a year premium membership is the year? Yes, you get it for as long as you have the premium membership, you get free shipping. So it's from until the time that your membership expires. It's not for like just that calendar year. Good
yeah,
question.
so it'll be from date to date. So like if you did it today, it would be a year from today.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other questions? Carrie's got her hands full over there. I can tell she's got like a baby crying, and yeah, I can hear him in the other room. So, is there a suggestion spot on the app? There is not currently. I mean, I guess the best way to send suggestions right now is to send it to us on social. Or there's also there's a spot in the app, I believe, to send like it's just for support though. It's not just feedback. We need to add that in. Add a way to submit feedback or suggestions. I love that. So yeah,
I
we'll get
also
that.
popped up our email too, so you can feel free to email us at any time as well for any
Yeah.
suggestions that you might have.
And Ryan reads every email right there with us. So
Yes.
we're trying to get him trained up on customer service. He doesn't know much about the app yet, though. He's still learning. Hey, Ryan. How you doing, buddy? All right. Do we have any other questions or anything we want to talk about before we announce our winner? So the harvest date is calculated based off of the planting date plus the sprouting time plus the range of harvest for that plant. A suggestion that we got recently was the ability to change these dates to put in like your own calculations or date to harvest on those plants. And I think that's a great suggestion, something we're looking at. So you should be able to fine tune those here pretty soon. It's on our list of things we're going to add. But for now, for tomatoes, it's going to kind of cover that broad range of all vine tomatoes or bush tomatoes. Yeah,
I like it.
Brian
Yeah.
definitely helps with customer support because customer support
On
is scary, but he's usually hanging out with her, learning what to
He's
do.
on it.
Faces. Yeah. Okay. I see a lot of awesome suggestions in here too, like from Sharon here, like setting up recipes in our menu. I love that. I also saw earlier adding recipes to search. Definitely agree with that. I love this one. I'm going to go through and pick some of these suggestions I like that we've got in the chat. I think this is something else that we should definitely look at too. I love these live streams so much. We always get so many good ideas. I think we need to do these more often, Carrie, because like we just get, and it's so much fun. Like this has been our life for the past 7 years, and it's awesome to be able to share it with you all. And to this app has really become something that I think all of us have worked on. All of you in the chat, everyone that's downloaded, like all of your suggestions, all of the love and support has all gone into making this app better. And we're just so grateful to be able to work on this full time, and that's because of all of you. So thank you, everybody. All right, let's do our giveaway. Who's our winner? Do we got it picked out yet, Carrie? Hey, buffalo. Carrie loves buffaloes. That's her favorite animal. She thinks they're really cute, and I
They are
always
super cute.
that explains why she thinks I'm cute. That's why she got with me. The same reason she thinks buffaloes are cute. I don't know. Buffalo, buffaloes. What's the plural? I don't know. Walrus, walrus. Same situation.
Well, congratulations. Email us at info@seedtostudent.net and we will get you hooked up with your free year of premium.
I see a couple other questions we can answer here before we go off. Question from Lisa. It does cover companion planting. So if I go into a plant, I go into beans. Oh, that's a plant in my garden. I need to go into plant results, bush beans, and companions. And this shows you all of the companions and all of the enemies for bush beans. So that's one of the early features we had too. And that is a free feature as well. Everything in plant details is going to be a free feature aside from the calendar. I think the calendar is the only paid app in there, or the paid feature in there. Okay. Well, this has been fun, y'all. I appreciate y'all joining us. Hopefully we'll be back to healthy next week. And what are we talking about next week? Do we know yet?
I know we've talked in the past. I know we talked last week about doing one over our top tips and then sharing their top tips also.
Yeah, I like that one. We also need to talk about indoor growing again.
It's not time for that, which is crazy.
Yeah. And two, like I saw some of y'all still have 100 degrees, that's the time of the year that we're really pivoting to a lot of microgreens and growing that indoors. So I think we should probably talk about that again soon too. So we've got microgreens coming up. We've got indoor seed starting for fall crops. And then like Carrie mentioned, like sharing some of your tips. Maybe if hey, I got an idea. Let's do recipes. So join us on our Facebook group, share some of your favorite recipes, and then let's do a live stream where we just share y'all's favorite recipes. So help us out. We got to have like quite a few of them in order to do this. If we only get like 3, we can't do it. So join us in our Facebook group, share some of your favorite recipes, or email if you're not on Facebook, just email them to us. Instagram, TikTok, we're YouTube, we're on all the socials. Send them to us however you want. You can mail it to us if you want. However you need to get them to us. All right. Well, it's been fun, and we'll do this again here soon. A lot of new features that we're working on that I mentioned, some that I haven't talked about yet. So we're staying busy, enjoying the summer. Hope you are too. And we will see y'all next week.